Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know it does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods on another Sunday without football. But every Sunday without football brings us 1 week closer to the NFL season kicking off. And of course, this week we have the schedule release, which will be later on this week. We'll probably do a live stream special for that, although you know what happens on that day is you start getting leaks and words all day long about, where you're playing and who you're playing, when you're playing, and everything else. So we'll be following that all day long throughout that. But before we get into it, I want to wish all of the lovely ladies out there that are mothers, all of you mothers out there, thank you so much for having us, because without you mothers, we wouldn't be here. So make sure, if you can't be there for mom, that you call her and say, thanks, Mom, I appreciate you going through those 9 months. If it was all 9 months, some of you was a little less time. Some of you wanted to come out a little early. But thank you for going through all that labor and everything else to have me and to raise me. And to, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So make sure you say Happy Mother's Day and make every day Mother's Day for your mom. So with that being said, let's get on to it. Apparently, the New York stinking Giants are a little upset at the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if you heard this. It seems like, and maybe I'm wrong here, one of the things that typically you don't do is you don't trade people within your division, because you have to worry about your players, coming back to bite you in the ass. Or you don't make trades, for draft picks within your division, because you're hated rivals. You don't like each other. You can't stand these mother humpers. But it seems like the Cowboys and the Eagles, even though we hate each other, that we've been doing a lot more working together. And the Eagles have taken some of our players like Orlando Scandrick and things like that onto their roster. Now, in past years, we had situations where we thought we were going to get Dallas Goedert. Of course, with a name like Dallas, you figured he should be in Dallas. That didn't work out because the Eagles, they swooped in and they took him from us, even though they had Zach Ertz. It kind of hurt. But it seems like things have kind of thawed over the last couple of years. Last year, we traded with the Eagles to move back up into the 4th round and take Tyler Badish. Tyler Badish looks like the real deal at center. In fact, he's going to be our starting center. And because Joe Looney got hurt last year, it's a good thing that we did have Tyler Badish, because he's really good. He's really good. So that worked out well for us. I'm not sure how it worked out for the Eagles. But again, following that trend, the Cowboys moved back 2 spaces. They moved back 2 spaces, trading with the Eagles. Now, some people will say, well, we got fleeced because we only got a 3rd round draft pick, but we only moved back 2 spaces. It wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't a major move in things, and maybe we could have gotten more. But at the heat of the moment, you had 10 minutes on the clock. The Eagles call because they want to move up and get Devontae Smith in the draft. And you kind of say, well, we were going to take Mika right now, but if we move back 2, we still think we can get Mika, and we got something else. So we're still getting the guy we want, and we now have an extra pick. And so the Cowboys at the time said, yeah, let's take it. We don't have time to hold out for more. And they're happy, we're ecstatic that we got Mika Parsons. And, of course, the Eagles were happy as could be that they got Devontae Smith. So where's the problem? Where's the rub? Where's the issue? Well, the Giants, who took a wide receiver.
What? Why did we get a wide receiver? Why did we get a wide receiver? Don't tell me. Are you? Why did we get a wide receiver? Oh, they got some. Oh, damn, he a dog though. Oh shit, he is a dog. But wide receiver.
wanted to get Devontae Smith. They thought for sure, we got it. The Cowboys aren't going for another receiver after getting CeeDee Lamb. We got this mother humper. The Cowboys, they'll take a linebacker, they'll take a cornerback, they'll take something on the defense. Yes, 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 yes. Giants, 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 we got this. Well, turns out they didn't. Turns out they didn't get the guy they wanted. So the Giants kind of mad at us. Does that bother you that the Giants are pissed off at the Cowboys? That they're pissed off that the Cowboys and Eagles are trying to work together? Does it really bother you? Doesn't hurt me in the least. I just hope that Micah Parsons is the real deal. Now, on the other side of this thing, what I'm actually hoping, because to me, this could be that deja vu moment where the 2013 draft, the Cowboys moved, they basically traded back with San Francisco. They traded back with San Francisco, and they drafted a center. And at the time, people laughed at the Cowboys. Oh, my God, the Cowboys. They traded back and took a center in the first round. What a bunch of freaking idiots. And when they traded back then, what they got was a third-round pick, almost identical. And what they did with it was they drafted Terrence Williams. Okay. So we got our starting center, who was a Pro Bowler perennial. Unfortunately, his career was shortened from the Barr syndrome, Hillian-Barr syndrome. But in the time that he was here, it's a great pick. Terrence Williams had some productive seasons and actually got quite a few yards. So when you think that you could have just drafted at that first round and just got one guy, you got two starters there. So that worked out well. So the other pick that we had via the trade with the Giants is actually an edge rusher, Chauncey Goldston. Now, Chauncey is, I'm not going to say he's an elite pass rusher, but the thing that's amazing is a lot of times guys in college, you don't really think too much about what they did in college because they didn't really perform that well. You think, okay, well, this guy's a scrub, but then they get their opportunity in the pros, and all of a sudden the light bulb comes on, something snaps, and they become great players. The NFL is full of players that most people didn't think were going to be anything, like Russell Wilson, that become great players. They're drafted later on. Charles Haley was a fourth-round draft pick and, was the first person with 5 Super Bowl rings and only the second out there with that many. So you just don't know. And the fact that you got an extra player, Chauncey Goldston only played in 8 games last year, but had 8.5 tackles for loss. Every game he had a tackle for loss, basically, and had 5.5 sacks. So you're looking at almost a sack a game and a tackle for a loss. Now, he needs to work on his strength, get a bit stronger and things like that. But when you start adding a guy in here, basically this was a freebie. Let's look at it. Let's call it what it is. He basically was like a freebie. If you get anything out of him, you're ahead of the game because you got possibly the best defender in football in this year's draft, possibly. And you got an extra guy to go along with it. To me, that's a win-win, and we'll see how that works. In the meantime, you also pissed off the Giants, and I got to tell you, I love that. That I absolutely positively love. So with that being said, I've got a lot of stuff I need to do. I got to figure out how this day is going to go. I've already actually taken care of my mom. I got her some koi for her pond a couple of days ago, and my mother-in-law is hopefully having this procedure as we speak right now to get rid of this blockage. So hopefully she can get out of the hospital soon. But let me also say, put out thoughts and prayers for Juan Cruz. Juan Cruz was going to visit his sick father-in-law, and unfortunately, he passed before he got there. And uh, it's been rough for so many people for the last year and a half. It's just we've lost too much. I'm hoping that things are at least headed in the right direction. In fact, when you think that last night at AT&T Stadium, that they had 73,000 people there for the fight, and you hear about teams like Washington that's planning on having full stadiums and things, I hope that we are past the worst of the COVID and that we finally got a grip on it, so that way we can start kind of getting back to some semblance of normalcy. So that being said here, you know what time it is. It's time for
Our Coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?